Hello guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video we'll be looking at the list, the tuple and the dictionary. Looking at the list, we'll be looking at the tuple, and we'll be looking at the dictionary. Okay, so these are data structures in Python, okay, for storing different data. So we'll be starting with the list. Okay, so a list is an ordered mutable collection of data. Just like you want to go to the market and you say, okay, let me make a list. You will now bring your book and you're writing a collection of data that you actually need to get from the market. So a list is just like a container holding different data in one. Okay, unlike default data types that can actually hold only one variable. So a list holds collection of data of different data types. So I can actually create a list to hold integers. Okay, they can hold multiple integers. I can create a list to hold strings. I can create a list to hold float numbers. Okay, so how does this work? Let's get to work. So let's say I want to create a list that is holding a collection of names, maybe name of your friends. Okay, and the name of the list is like this, names, and you say equals. So to create a list, you create it with the square braces. Okay, so I have actually created a list here, though I've not added any value into this list. But once you say you define the name equal to and you add the square braces, you have created a list. Okay, so now what if I need values to be inside this list? I'll add those values inside the square braces. Okay, and I want to put the names of your friends. So the names of your friends are in string. Maybe the first person is Ifeanyi, comma. The next person is Wale, comma. The next person is Awo, comma. So, and probably the last person is Ebuka. All right. So now I have actually created a list holding 4 names. Okay. So this is the simplest way to create a list. So I have a list holding the name of your 4 friends, which are Ifeanyi, Wale, Awo, and Ebuka. So these are the names of your 4 friends, which are stored in a list. Okay. So you can actually decide maybe to create another list to hold their age. So you can say their age is equals to, you open the square braces and say 20, 25, 23, 24, as the case may be. All right, so when you actually look at what is happening here, this particular list is holding integers, while this list is holding strings. So this is to tell you that each list can actually hold any type of data type. Are you with me? It can actually hold any type of data type. So this is the simplest way you can actually create a list. So if I want to access any of these lists, I can easily access them. Okay, but before accessing them, let's print this list. Okay, let's print names, and then in the next place we will print the age. All right, let's print this list. Okay, so what we'll have here now, we'll have in the first print statement, we'll have the list containing the names and then the list containing the age. So you see that I was able to print this list. Now, going further, I want to show us something now. Let's get what is called the length of this list. The length of this list is a function that returns the number of variables on this list. Okay, so getting the length of that list, we'll say print, I will now say length of names. So what this function does, len, is to return how many variables that are contained in a list or a dictionary or any iterable that you actually passed to it. Okay, so let's see. You see that inside name will have um four values. It contains four values inside name. All right. Now, if I want to access each of these values, eh, you can do that by indexing them. Since we have four values here, what this will be now is that here, this is um let me have a comment here. Okay, so this is index 0, this is index 1, this is index 2, and this is index 3. All right, so there are four variables, but when you want to index them, you start from 0. So indexing them is from 0 to 3, making it four variables. So if I want to access any of these values inside this list, I'm going to be using their index. I might want to access this first value. So to access it, I will say print. All right, so before I print it, if I want to access the first value here, so to access it is by writing the name of the list, opening square bracket, and then passing the index. So, and the index there is 0. So I've been able to access what is inside here. So to print it out, I can easily say print. Inside here, I will say name, and then open the square braces, and I'll pass the index of the particular variable I want to access, or the particular index I want to access inside this place, and I can now do what? Print. The name is names. Okay, so I can now print. You see, I was able to get a fine. This fine was supposed to end with I, so I was able to get a fine. Okay, so if I want to access the first one, I will just put 1 here, and I'll be able to access the first one. Say I got Wale. If I put 2 here, I will get Awo. If I put 3 here, I will get Ebuka. So this is the easiest way you can actually access the values inside the list. Same is applicable to the age. Okay, so if I have the age here, I'll say print age, and then inside here I'll pass 3, which is the index of the last age here. So I can actually say, so, and the last one is what? 24. So you can actually access any value this way. Now, let's say I want to change a particular value inside this string, inside this list, sorry. So I want to change this the third one, which is this one having the index 2. Okay, so in this place I will remove the comment. I can easily say name index 2 is equals to, and I'll pass a new name. So I want to pass Francis. Okay, so I want it to hold Francis. So, and let me print that same index here. Let's actually see whether it changed. Earlier when I printed the index 2 here, we are getting our row, which is here, we are getting our row. So let me see if this line of code was able to update the content of this place now. So let's run the code. I was able to get Francis. Okay, so to even confirm that, you can print the whole list. You can print the whole list. The whole list is names. Okay, so you can print the whole list, and you see that our was changed to Francis. Okay, look at the list here. I want you to observe, I was printing the list here before I changed it, and it was having Awo, and I was printing the list here when I have changed it, and it was having Francis. So this is the way you can actually access values inside the list, and you can easily change them. It's as simple as that. So note, to print a particular variable, you use this. So this is printing a particular value. Uh, so and this is changing the value. So note this, it's actually as simple as that. Okay, so now what if, like what we've done now, we've been able to, create the list and then update some of these values. What if I want to add new values here, and you can't actually come here and start adding them? You actually want to add them at runtime. You want to add it as the code is running. You want to add new values to this list. How do you do that? It's very simple. So what you have to do is type the name of the list, which is names. You say dot. This list has it has a method, and that method is called append. So that method is used to add a new list at the end of the list. Okay, the append method is used to add a new value at the end of the list. So you can say names.append. So and you open the bracket. So any value you add here now will be added at the end of this list. So what the code will do, it will just come here, add this comma, and then add another list there. So let's see what happens. So I want to add a new value here, and okay, and the new value should be Felix. All right, so I want to append Felix at the end of this place. So after appending, we are going to print the list. Let's see if it was actually appended. Okay, so let's print. All right, so now look at the list. You find out that Felix was actually added at the end here. Look at this print. This print statement was coming after we have changed the third value to be Francis, which is here, and then we appended Felix at the end of the list, which we printed there, and we actually saw that yes, Felix was appended. So this is just the simple way you can manipulate your list. So you can do same for the edge and for any list that you have. So if I'm doing same for the edge here, it's going to be edge dot append, and I'm passing, let's say 45. All right, so let me run this, and okay, so I'm supposed to be printing this age. So I'll say print age, sorry, print age. Yeah, it's looking pretty good now. Yeah, and you saw that 45 was appended at the end of 24. So this is just the little way you can create a list and change the content of the list. So when we get to conditional statements and loops, we'll talk about iterating between this list and other iterables. Okay, so we won't be able to talk about now because we've not talked about how you can use your loop. So we'll talk about iterating between them, but till when we get there. So this is all you need to know right now about lists. So let's look at tuple. Okay, let's look at tuple. So a tuple is just like a list, but the difference is that a tuple is immutable. What do you mean by immutable? After creating this list, you saw me changing values, appending values to a list. So in a tuple, you can't do that. Once you've created it, it is very static that way. You can never adjust any value in it. Okay, so it is immutable. So a tuple is very easy to create. The only difference is that a tuple uses the normal braces, not the square braces. So if I want to create a tuple, so we are talking about tuple here. So if I want to create a tuple now, so a tuple will be looking like this. So I can say coordinates. I can say coordinate is equals to, and I will open your parentheses just like this, and then you add the values you want the tuple to have. Just as simple as that. So note the difference. A tuple uses the normal parentheses, while a list uses the square braces. Okay, as simple as that. So this is a tuple. So places where you can actually use tuple is when you are passing the coordinates or you are passing colors to functions. Okay, so when you are passing a coordinate, you need the x and y value. So you actually put them in a tuple and pass, or you are passing a color where you need the RGB and you just have the RGB values and then you pass it as a tuple. So that is just how a tuple works. Okay, so accessing the value in a tuple, I can actually print this tuple here, just the same way you do for the list. Just print it this way and you have the tuple. Look at the tuple here, and you see it came with your brackets. Okay, look at the tuple here. You can also access each values inside the tuple. I can say print coordinate in the second index. Okay, so remember, if I try printing this length, I'm going to be getting 3, and the index is 1, 0, 1, 2. So you just pass the index the same way you do for the list, and it will be able to print the value at that particular index. This is 45, 0, 1, 2. If I have 0 here, I'll be getting 23. I'll be getting 23. Okay, so that is just a tuple for you. It's as simple as that. Just note that the basic difference is that you cannot manipulate the value after you have created it. Okay, but let's say you, at some point, you actually needed to change something in your tuple. Maybe at some point in your code, okay, which I doubt you might actually, except you're developing a libraries and at your classes you needed to adjust something. So what you actually need to do, there is a way you can convert a tuple to a list. I can convert a list to a tuple. Yeah, Python has those functions. So if let's say I have a tuple here coordinate, if I want to convert it to a list now, so I can actually say list tuple. Okay, list of coordinates is equals to, so what I just have to do is to write the name list and then pass the tuple we want to convert to a list. This is called casting, just the way we did in the data type. You can actually cast from one data type to another. So that is how you can actually cast from tuple to list here. Okay, so just write list. We are casting to a list now, and then you now pass the tuple you want to convert to a list, which is this coordinate that I will have here, CORR, okay, that I will have here. So you now pass it inside this list, and it will be able to convert it to a list. So now if I print list coordinates, let's see what we'll be getting. All right, have a look at this now. Initially when we printed this, it came with its normal braces, which shows that it's a tuple, but here it's coming with the square braces, which shows it's a list. So we are successful converting it to a list. It's as simple as that. So let's say I want to add a new value here. Let's say the new value is 60. So I can easily say list score dot append, and I pass 60. Okay, and after passing this 60 now, I'm going to convert it back to a tuple. So now to convert it back to a tuple, let's say I will just use another I'll create another variable. I'll say CORT representing just the tuple. I'll create another variable so that we can actually show what we have before and we'll be able to see them. So CORT is equals to tuple, say tuple, and I will now pass the the list that I want to convert, which is the um, list COOR. All right, so okay, sorry, I think I have a typo here. This should be tuple like this. Okay, tuple. This. So I just wrote the tuple, which is the type I want to convert the list to, and I just passed the list here. So let me compile my code. I think still having a typo. I think yeah, I'm okay. All right, so let me compile my code, and I need to be printing this. Okay, so I can say print CORRT. Okay, that's the value, the variable I created here. So let me compile the code now. So as you can see now, it is already in tuple, and I was able to add 60 to it. So with this, you can easily convert to lists, make some amendment, and convert to back to tuple. So we've actually seen a way whereby you can actually convert to tuple, and from tuple to list, and convert to list, and from list to tuple. So this is just that about the tuple and list. It's very straightforward. Okay, so if you actually have any confusion, note the particular place your confusion is and get your question ready. You can ask in the comment section, or when we come to the class, then you ask your question. Okay, so the last data structure we are going to be looking at today is the dictionary. All right, so the dictionary is kind of a one unique way of storing data that Python has. So the dictionary makes use of what we call key value pair. What do you mean by key value pair? So I'm going to be explaining. So if I'm going to create a dictionary, let me say dictionary of students. So students, and I'll say equals to. So the values in a dictionary are stored inside a curly braces like this. So a curly braces like this. So it must start with a curly braces. So now this is the key name, and the value is the person's name is let's say Felix. Okay, and I can have an age here. Age, let's say 27. All right, then let's come to this, and so that I can actually explain. I just created a dictionary, so let me explain now. So this is a dictionary which you can actually use to collect data. All right, so and it comes what we call the key value pair. So in each dictionary, like this dictionary is holding two major values. So in this one, this is the key, and this is the value. Okay, so the key must be must be a string, and it ends with the column. So you specify the column, and then you type the value. So this key is actually holding this value. Okay, so inside dictionary, this is the key and this is the value. So I have two keys here. I have the name and the age, and this age is also holding this value. Okay, so if I want to access the content of this my dictionary, I'll be using this key to access the values. Are you with me? I'll be using these keys to access the values. So let's say I want to access the name inside this dictionary. So what I'm going to say is but before then, you can actually print and see all the content of your dictionary by printing the students, and then all the content of your dictionary will actually appear here. Okay, look at them here. This is the students. Okay, so maybe I think I need to take this and actually move in a new environment. Yeah, so in a new, so I think it's better off this way. So let me close this console as well. So all right, let's um let's run this again now. So this is our dictionary here now. Okay, so we'll continue. Now I can access each um value in this dictionary using the key. So if I want to access the Felix, I'm using the key, which is the name. Okay, so if you say student and then the name of the key is name. So think here I should be printing it out. So I can say print. Okay, then let me run this code now. You see I have Felix here. I was able to print this Felix. I can also print the age. I'll say print students age. Oh, it should be in a string age. And I'll be able to print the age 27. So this is just how a dictionary works. Okay, so a dictionary you can actually use it to store values in key value pair. Okay, so I'm just having a pair. Now I'm going to move further to now show us the sweetness of this dictionary and what you can actually use it for. Let's say you want to collect data of students in a particular class. So what you want to collect is their name and their age. Now, instead of creating two lists like this, you might have a list. You call it maybe names and is equals to probably the names in the class. We have Wale, we have Ifani, we have Ebuka, we have Chidubem, and so on. So these are list of persons in the class, and you can just maybe create another list to be their age. So maybe their age is 29, 30, 31, 28, as the case may be. All right, so instead of having these two lists to hold the name and the different lists to hold the age, I can actually collect all the data of the students in one dictionary. So how am I going to do that? Okay, so creating the dictionary like this, so I will create a different dictionary here. So I can call it class data, and I'll say it's equals to, I'll create my curly braces. So let me do it this way. So, and all I need is first of all the names. So the names of the members of the class is, then I am going to create a list and then pass those names. So, and the list to pass those names, and I will just pass those names here, probably saying Mifani, Chibuzo, Emeka, I will say Nkechi. All right, so these are the names of the persons in the class. So I've inside this key, I am passing a list of names of the persons in the class. So I'll put comma to add another value to my dictionary. And the next value I'm adding to my dictionary, the key is the age, and I'll put my colon. And I'll still open what? A list to pass those age. So their age is 28, 26, 25, 27, as the case may be. Okay, so I can also add their weight. So, and I can add the weight of each student, and I'll say weight. So, and their weight is 80 kg. I have 75. We have 90. We have 70. These are their weight of the student. So, I have actually used this dictionary to hold a particular student's data. So it's just like I've created a mini database holding a students that are using a dictionary. So this is the wonderful ways you can actually use a dictionary. And I can access each of these values comfortably from anywhere. Okay, so how will I be able to access any of these values? Now note, names is the key and it has these values. Age is the key and it has these values. Weight is the key and it has these values. So I am accessing these values using their keys. What is important to me are these values. This key is just a pointer saying, okay, all the names are here, all the ages are here, all the weights are here. So that anytime I just pass only this one data type here, anytime I just pass this dictionary, I know I have passed all the data to a particular function or to a particular class, rather than just passing the list one after the other. So I can easily pass the dictionary, and the dictionary is holding all the details that I need. Okay, so how can you access each of these? It's as simple as that. So let's see how we can do that. Remember, you can print this class data. Okay, so let's say that the print statement I have here now, let me create another, or let me use this. Okay, so the print statement I have here now is printing the class data. Okay, it's printing the class data. So let me comment this out and this out as well. So let me have the class data here. So this is the class data where you have the name, the age, and the weight. Then let's print the class data individually now. So let's print the name, the keys. So the class data for the name. So we're printing the age, and we are printing the weight. This should be in a string. Okay, so I'm printing the weight. So let's print this. Let's see. Okay, what I have here is names. So that's why it returned this error. So what I have here is names. So you definitely in your code you'll be encountering syntax error. So you should be able to rectify them just the way we actually doing here. Okay, so these are the names, these are the age, and these are the weights. If you observe very well, you actually see a trick. So once you pick this key, it's already seeing this. It's already seeing what I have here. If I say class data now, class data names, it's already seeing this as a list. And you remember how you access your list. Okay, so how you access your list is when you write the name of the list, and then you open a square braces and then pass the index. So same thing is applicable here. Since it's seeing this as a list now, okay, if I want to access the first value, second value, third value, or fourth value here, I will just open a square braces and then add the index. That's all. And you'll be able to access each of the value inside this name key inside here now. So this is just the simplest way you can access values inside your dictionary. So let's say I want to print only the first um, value here. So what I will now do is I'll pick this. I'll say print, and I'll pass it to the print. So what I have here now is class data and the key is the name. So I'm only inside the key, I'm only inside the names. I'm already inside the names, and I want to print the first value. So if I run printing, I'm going to get a fine. Now, if I want to print the second, I will pass 1, and I will get tables. If I want to print the third, I will pass 2, which is Emeka. I will get Emeka. Okay, if I want to get Nkechi, I will pass 3, and I will get Nkechi. So you see that once you've gotten the dictionary and the key, as so long as this key is holding a list, to access this list, you are accessing it like a list. Just the same way we accessed our list. So this is the essence of knowing all these things. It's seamlessly easy. Okay. So this is just the same way. This is just the way you can access everybody's data. So I'm going to you can easily access this name. Let's say that this Ifeanyi, his age is 28 and his weight is 80. So I'm going to say Ifeanyi is 28 years old and he weighs 80 kg. So I can easily print this on the console. So to print it, I will say print. So I just have to print the Ifeanyi's name. So to make it easier for you, I can pick these values out into a variable and then pass the variable here. So let me do that. So I want to pick Ifeanyi's name, I want to pick his age, and I want to pick his weight. So what I'm going to do is I'll just say name of the person I want to print is equals to class data names, and inside the name I'm picking the first index, and I'll say the person's age is equals to class data age, and I'm picking the first index. Okay, and I will now say his weight is equals to class data his weight, and I'm picking the first index. Okay, so I already have his name, his age, and his weight inside this name, age, and weight variable. So I will now say Ifeanyi, which is the name, I'll pass the name, is, I'll pass the age, I'll now say years old, comma, and he weighs, comma, I'll pass the weight, comma, I will now pass kg. Just as simple as that. So what I have here now is the person's name is so and so years old and he weighs so and so kg. So let's print. So what I have here now, Ifeanyi is 28 years old and he weighs 80 kg. All right. So if I want to do that for Nkechi, I can I will come here and I'll pass 3. I'll just pass 3. I'll just change the index to pick that person's index, and remember that all these ones actually corresponds to that person's details. So I'll pass 3. I'll pass 3. Okay, then let me run this. So it's going to be telling us that Nkechi is 27 years old and he weighs 70 kg. Although Nkechi is a female, but we'll have this hard coded here. So we don't have any variable holding whether the person is a male or a female. So these are other things you can actually try on your own. Maybe add whether the person is a male or female. Then when you get it, you know whether it's a male for you to use he, or whether it's a female for you to use she. So this is just how your code actually works, and it makes the thing very sweet, and it's seamlessly easy to do. So with what we've done today, we've covered 3 data structures in Python, which are the list, the tuple and the dictionary. Okay, so um, try and practice this, and in all you do, make sure you keep coding because practice makes perfection. All right, if you like our video, please give us a thumbs up and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Always follow up in the class, don't lag behind, so that at the end of the class you'll be able to say yes, you've actually learned something. See you in the next class. Have a blessed day.